presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
And a pleasant good evening live from Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. We're on 2nd Street at 104 Southwest 2nd Street. It is your Tuesday Coaches Show, and we are excited to bring it to you. We've got area schools to talk about here in the Lawton area, and we're already halfway through the football season. So you know that it's going to start really picking up momentum when you start talking about, okay, who's playing who, the points that matter, and the district standings out of those 8 to see if you can make in the top 4 to make playoffs. But we'll be talking about that with our teams that are in the house. We've already got 3 of them of the 4 that is going to be here. We've got Lawton High, we've got MacArthur and Cash in the building. We'll probably get Walters coming up here shortly. But we want to talk to Michelle. She is our hostess from Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. Got a lot of stuff to go on, and we've been talking about your great menu items, whether it be barbecue, whether it be the appetizers. I did get the pretzel last week. I had to hand it off to a mob of players because I could not finish it. It was very large. It's the largest pretzel around if you've not had that. And we'll talk more and more about the food. But you got a lot of events coming up, and we've talked about Oktoberfest and Halloween, but you got a lot of stuff. So come out to the Southwest Oklahoma Brewery and find out what it's all about.
Exactly. Yeah, we actually even have trivia coming up on Wednesday here just tomorrow. So we have trivia night, and then we have cornhole tournaments every Thursday. So come on out and join us for those as well. So it's been a lot of fun.
Well, the back porch, I call it, or the back area patio, has cornhole. It's got sofa and love seats out there. There's a family out there right now, and sometimes they bring their kids, and you can have the Connect Four out there. And so the environment is really it's so cool because you've got inside, you got outside, and they can cater to that. And speaking of parties, if you have a party or a get together, I know they had a book club group come last week. You got a military with hail and farewells, so there's a lot of stuff going on. So let's talk a little bit about Oktoberfest coming up and your Halloween events coming up right around the corner.
Yeah. So for Oktoberfest, we're going to have quite a few events. We're going to have a Stein holding contest, pretzel eating contest. It's a big pretzel, so people have to prepare for that.
Good luck.
Yep. We're also going to do Oktoberfest. We're going to have our beer, Oktoberfest beer on special, and some special German foods that we're going to make.
Okay, and Halloween, you kind of an adult night and a kids night, a kids day. So talk a little bit about that coming up, because I know Halloween lands on a Friday this year, on the 31st. That's right.
Yep, it's a Friday, so the adult night is Friday night. We'll have adult-themed contest, costume contest, some adult-themed drinks, things like that going on Friday night. And then on Saturday will be more for kids. We're actually going to be doing Trunk or Treat here along with a lot of the other businesses within this area. So
very nice.
Trunk or Treat on 2nd Street. So please come down for that.
That rhymes.
It does. We'll have a kids' costume contest and a lot of goodies for little kids.
Very nice, and we talked about whether it's all in-house barbecue. You talk about what you can have to your palate, whether it be lunchtime or dinner time. I eat dinner here at the conclusion of the show every single time. I've been kind of going to the 2-meat barbecue thing, whether it be ribs or whether I get the sausage. I've not strayed from that. That's still one of my favorites. I did try the potato salad for the first time. I'm trying different things, because I told you my goal was to completely exhaust this menu. Now, last week, didn't have chicken salad sandwiches, and that was on the list, and then a baked potato, and I've not had your full spud that you can put barbecue on as well.
Oh, yeah, and it's very good with mac and cheese.
And they're homemade mac and cheese. So we go on and on. Just load up the family and come on down to 2nd Street. You're going to enjoy it if you've never been here before, Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. You also have some winter brews that you said you're talking about doing?
Yeah, so we're getting to some winter beers with the colder weather. So we have a peanut butter stout that we'll be doing, and then a Lady Lady Godiva, which is a white chocolate stout.
Okay, all right. So for those who partake, you'll be able to understand that. You can speak the language. All right, Michelle, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
We've got MacArthur, we got Cash, we got Lawton High. Lawton High is going to be up first. They were first in the building. We go, whoever comes in first gets the advantage. And so the Lawton High Wolverines are up next, right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, you want to come join us. It is the Coaches Show each and every Tuesday here at 6 p.m. And, boy, I'm getting hungry, and we got a full dinner slate that's coming up, so you want to make sure that you are a part of our fun that we have each and every week. So the Lawton High Wolverines coming off with a great win last week, and, John Marshall, we'll talk a little bit about that. But we've got a new coach to introduce to the Wolverine faithful, so give us your name and what position you are partaking with.
So my name's Tim Grantham.
Okay.
And I came to Lawton this year. I coach defense, linebackers.
Okay.
This is year 31.
31, wow.
And I was actually Coach Zoe, the head coach. I was his high school coach.
Oh, wow.
So we go back.
You do go back. So this is at Midwest City then?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So you were the head coach at Midwest City during that
Coach
stint?
linebackers.
Linebackers
Yep.
at that okay.
I've been a head coach a couple times throughout the years. But
Where else have you traveled then? You started with Coach Zoe as a player at Midwest City, and he knew you there. But where else did you
I've been 11
stop?
different high schools.
Okay. 11?
Yeah, 11.
Okay.
Edmond, Westmore. I was at Westmore with him a few years ago.
All right.
Yukon, Noble, Edmond.
Okay, so here's your stopping stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
So what excites you about this linebacking crew? I know you've got some youngsters, you've got some young guys, and you've seen a lot over the years. So what do you, with your experience, bring to the table to help this linebacking core?
Yeah, I'm not worthy of these guys. No, I came up this summer, came for one day and told Zoe, I'm going to take a look. And, I live in Edmond. My house is in Edmond.
Wow.
So I commute.
Okay, so you have to commute, yeah.
Yeah. And so it was
hour and a half drive, that's right.
And so I've got a place up here that I stay during the week and go see my wife and kids on the weekend. And so it was a big decision for me.
Sure.
Again, I care a lot about Coach Zoe, and so it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, so came up here one day and just said, I'm going to take a look, and if I see what I like, I'll do this. And it didn't take long to see all the talent. The talent here is incredible.
Good.
And I'm a track guy by nature, and so I see,
all right, yeah.
I see a lot of speed, and it didn't take long. And these kids are they're awesome. They're the best kids I've ever worked with, to be honest.
So buying into the system with a new, I know this is Coach Zoe's second year, but you at linebacker for your first year, how have they adapted to your coaching style?
Good. I might gripe too much for them. I don't know.
I got you.
I've got unfortunately, I'm an older dude, so I'm kind of set in my ways, and I know what I want, and I've got a system, and I had a lot of good linebackers over the years, several All-Staters, and so we've got a high standard at Lawton High, and we're just not going to waver off of it.
Let's talk a little bit about last week. Coaches kind of break down film, what you saw, what you liked, and what would you like to take going further?
Hey, John Marshall is a good team, well coached. I thought athletically they were really impressive. A couple of those guys I think could play. This is my first time at a smaller class. I've been at the 6A1 level for most of my career, and those dudes could play at any level. And so, defensively is really happy with again our schemes and just pursuing the ball and some things that we had to fix over the last few weeks. Got those corrected. Linebacker wise, we're starting to fit a little better. Our vision's getting better. Coverage is where we got to, some work, and we're getting there. Had a good week of practice, so I think we'll see some improvement, this next game.
Well, I know we got Western Heights coming up, and we're going to kind of hold off until we talk to some of the players about that matchup, and maybe make that not a trap game, because you got a better game after that, to prepare for El Reno, and so you got that. So let's get some of your players. Let's grab the first mic and give us your name and your grade and what position you play.
I'm Hayden Graves. I play defensive end, edge, and
Yeah, so you're fine. No, don't go ahead. We're still talking to you.
What else I have to say?
Your name, your grade, and what position you're in.
Hayden Graves.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
11th grade, and I'm an edge player.
Okay, all right. Oh, he's going to give you the headset there. So, no, okay. So talk a little bit about your 11th grade, how that transition. Coach Zoe came in last year. You kind of had to adapt to his style of coaching, and now his second year, you kind of got his expectations, and Coach talked about expectations. How are you guys adapting to his style of coaching?
It was like a full flip. We came from I wouldn't say a losing culture, because Lawton High really, we was going downhill. So kind of a losing culture to flipping into that, getting into that winning culture type thing. But Coach Zoe's, his style of coaching is like slowly bringing passion back quickly for me, but I can see how it's affecting other kids. So, yeah, it's a building thing right now, but I can see we're going to be great in the future, real great.
Well, you got edge rushing on your mind, and so talk a little bit about how you wanted to be the best at that position. What did you want to get better at?
I would say probably getting my hands quicker off the edge and knowing my assignment, like what I'm going to do whenever I get off the ball, like my second move, my counter, whatever.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure my progress so far, I'm getting everything down pretty quick, so it's just progress.
What excites you most, on a Friday? Is it the atmosphere? Is it just getting to play? What motivates you to keep continuing at the level that you are?
Probably my teammates, knowing I got to hold them accountable. I'm playing for people around me, not just myself. So I got a team I'm playing for, and I got a coach. I'm withholding his name. I'm withholding the school's name, so stuff like that.
So you got an opportunity that this game last week was kind of up and down. It wasn't really established, and you had to go 4 quarters. What was it like getting in a battle like that and then coming out with a win on the road?
It's just all about strength to finish. Like, you can't get down whenever little stuff happens. Like, they scored first play, we down, we don't have a point. We just go in there, we finish. Second quarter, we pulled through. We don't let off the gas. We keep going.
What's your favorite food?
Favorite food is that baked potato I just ate.
Oh, okay, all right. They got loaded up. What barbecue did you get on it?
I got a barbecue brisket.
Okay,
yeah,
that's pretty good. That's top notch. All right, and what do you like to do when you're not playing football? Give us some of your hobbies.
I'm not playing football. I just go to church and I listen to a lot of music. I like to spend time with my family too. That's really about it. I don't really play no games like that or nothing.
Okay, all right. Okay, we got you. Give your name and your grade and what position you play.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's one right there.
Okay.
You're good.
My name's Raheem Murphy. I'm a middle linebacker, class of 2027.
All right, so this is your linebackers coach. What is it like to have him for this first year?
It's a very big twist because this is my first year playing as a Lawton Wolverines, because before that I was at Eisenhower.
Okay.
So, but I love him so much. He's coaching me for a little amount of time, but I learned a lot from him that I have to know my blocking scheme, where I fit to the defense, the blocking scheme, and, just go
They kind of had you flying all over the place last week. What was that like, especially a road game like that, and to get a win against John Marshall?
It's like one play at a time, even though I know we could have played a little better, had a lot of errors, but it's a win. A win is a win.
Yeah, okay, and then I know that, and we're going to talk to Coach in a minute about this, you'll hear the word trap game, and that means Western Heights, and I understand that some of these schools, you kind of know their record, you kind of know what they're going to bring, and you don't want to overlook an opponent like that, so how do you get prepared for this week?
Honestly, I don't really care about the record. I just care about winning and doing what's best for my team.
All right. Well, what is your favorite food?
My favorite food, I'll say steak.
steak? How do you like it cooked?
Medium rare.
Medium rare. You're the man. I like it. We're in good shape. All right. Okay, I'll give you the head coach. The coach can get back with a headset there, and we'll kind of close out with this question about what have you seen? You break down film Saturday mornings. You guys are really busy. You kind of grade out yours, and then you look at the next week's opponent. X's and O's break down Western Heights for us this week.
So they run a lot of multiple sets. So, offensively, speaking from a defensive coach,
right?
It's going to be a great challenge. They do a lot of empty formations, 12 different empty type formations.
Wow.
But then they get into an ace package, too tight, and so they got a lot of stuff that we've had to prepare for this week. And you talked about a trap game, and I think. With Coach Zoe and myself and Coach Cliff, you got guys with lots of experience over the years, and this week is just like any other. And they're a worthy opponent, and I think they probably got yelled at today more than they have most weeks. So
right.
We're just not gonna do that.
Well, and there's a lot riding on this. We talked about when you get to the halfway point of the regular season, you've played a couple of district games, you played your non-district schedule, and then you look at who your opponents are, and then the rankings, because out of the 8, they take the top 4, and you got to be in that top 4. And you kind of stubbed your toe with Noble, kind of put you behind the 8 ball there, because then you still got Carl Albert, you got Guthrie, and you've got Altus, who is undefeated. And those are, I know that's a ways away, but you still got to make sure that the game in front of you is the most important, and get that district win.
That's right.
And your points, your 15 district
15 points. Yeah. No, we told the guys after Noble, guys, we're not in control anymore. We're not in the driver's seat. We're going to have to get some help. This team's got to lose to this one, and we got to beat this one, and it's not where we wanted to be at. And that was a great disappointment, but a great opportunity to learn from.
Yeah,
we did move forward.
Definitely learning from that. Okay, the Lawton High Wolverines. We got MacArthur Highlanders. I think they're up next. We got Cash and Walters. Everybody in the house. We'll take a break and be back to Southwest Oklahoma Brewery as we continue with the Coaches Show right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, and it is, again, the Coaches Show here at 104 Southwest 2nd Street. Got a lot of festivities coming up. And, the atmosphere is really good. It's family-friendly, and I know that you say, well, you're at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. Yes, they are a brewery, but there's so much more with food and family and fun and entertainment. The back patio or the back area that is still being used, and you got kids running around, and they got Connect Four, and people are playing cornhole, and you've got that atmosphere, and then you got in here where you can have your dinner, you can have lunch. They've opened up for Monday Night Football. Sunday you can come down and watch the ticket, and then if you're on Thursday or Friday game days, and you can't make it, or your team is out of town, if there's anyone that you want to watch on the Oklahoma Sports Network, they have those. In fact, the TV above us is running our live show right there off the stream, so it's a great opportunity. So the MacArthur Highlanders are up next. Michael Puschke, offensive coordinator for the MacArthur Highlanders, joins us for the first time this year, giving Coach a little bit of a break, and we appreciate that. First and foremost, we got to say, and you did not experience it, and you were a player, now you're a coach. First time historically, the MacArthur Highlanders, if you missed it, played on their field for the very first time. So where they practiced is where they played. And so they went to, when you were a player, from natural grass to being torn up, and then when it rained, it was a muddy mess, but now artificial turf, so you don't have that issue. And then they had the stands that were put up on the visiting side with a press box, with the home side. And then they even brought in some portable bleachers this past game for the band, so they wouldn't take up any more space to get more people in it. what was your experience from the coaching side, not to be at Cameron, a home game at MacArthur for the first time?
I mean, I just thought it was a really, really cool experience. You know, I was just sitting here looking at Coach Griffin. He was at MacArthur when I was playing, and, you know, just all the memories of practice there in the grass field and coaches having to either spray paint or hit Roundup for the lines. And then halfway through November, it's all dirt. And so, yeah, getting the turf, and then now what we have, where it is now, just really, really cool. And that's what I told the guys before the game during the pregame speech. I said, you know, we have weight room records. We have, you know, receiving records and wins and losses records and all that stuff. I was like, we have history here at MacArthur. I was like, and you guys are the very first team to make this history. Yeah. It was really special and really cool.
Well, there was also some comments I noticed on social media that they said it gave a small-town feel to a game, and I understand that. You know, Walters is here, and I've been there, and they really packed the stands, and, you know, it really had that kind of atmosphere.
No, it was really cool, and at one point, you know, I made sure to kind of just turn around and look, and our whole home side was completely packed, and then we kind of spilled over to the visitor side, and that was about 85% packed. There's people around the fences standing. Yeah. So, no, it was a really cool experience.
Okay, so, you know, it's really kind of hard to break down against an opponent such as what we saw last week with Class and SAS and kind of know that ahead of time, but that's really not what you look for. It's like, how can you improve, and what did you see taken away on the film that you could still prepare us for? Because we got a Duncan game that's important coming up this week.
Yeah, you know, just going in that game, we want to be perfect, obviously, offensively. One of the things I was really, really proud of is how we distributed the ball. We had 8 different guys score in different ways, and so, you know, getting different guys that many touches is really good. But yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, we did have a turnover, and since he's my position coach or player, I can rag on him. But Josh had a fumble, and so
uncharacteristic of Josh.
Uncharacteristic. But don't worry, we worked on that this week.
Well, I know and he kind of got from behind. You know, he was kind of he did the I remember the play because he was kind of did the spin move and he got out of that and he was trying to make something happen, and then lo and behold, someone coming behind and punch it out. You know, so
we can always be better.
High and tight. Okay, well, we'll hold off to give the Duncan preview here in a minute. We got some players to talk to, so give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
My name is Sean Hughes. I'm a senior. I play outside linebacker.
Yeah, outside linebacker. You know, you're kind of making your way. You guys are getting spoiled between your linebacker and edge rushers because you guys kind of share the wealth. It's not like one name guy, you know, and even Gunnar Tate's been out for a little bit and he's coming back, and I understand that. We could add him to the mix. What's it like to have that much talent at the linebacking core?
Sometimes it really saves us. You know, we got a really talented freshman, Tristan Kibble. He definitely stepped up, made an impact for us. It's good because they all know how to do their job, and we just got to trust each other.
Well, you mentioned Kimball because he is a freshman. You're a senior. How do you want to kind of lead him in the expectations of not only the position but to be a Highlander?
Me and him are cousins, so we grew up together. So I want him to look up to me. I want to be a good role model for him, and he's definitely going to be better than me and his brother.
Do you think you're a little bit harder on him than others because of that blood relationship?
Yeah, I can definitely talk to him and get on to him how I want to.
Okay, I got you. How excited were you to start this senior season?
I was actually looking forward to it. I was obviously sad because, you know, I'm not going to college for football.
Gotcha.
So, obviously, I was sad that my time's coming up, but I'm just going to do what I can, leave it all on the field.
Yeah, I mean, unless you have an extended season to keep those weeks going, which we want you to do in playoffs, I mean, you know, when you get to the halfway point, yeah, it's halfway there. What was Friday night like being at MacArthur as opposed to Cameron for a home game?
It was actually really cool. It felt good to be the first team to ever play on that field.
Right.
I kind of think it's going to be cool in like 50, 60 years when like the people at high school look at a picture of us and from way far. And yeah,
cool. You're going to be in there. You know, part of history is made. So that's pretty cool. What's your favorite food?
Probably ribs.
Ribs. Yeah. Where do you get the best ribs?
My dad makes them.
Really? All right. Okay. So how often do you put in that rib request?
Every event, like family event we have, my dad makes them.
So you're looking for the next event. Yeah. OU Texas, is that an event? Is there going to be ribs for that?
My dad's at work. No.
Okay, all right. So I just want to make sure because I can create an event for you if you want. You know?
He'll definitely love to cook. He likes cooking.
Well, what is your favorite subject in school?
Ceramics.
Ceramics?
Yeah, we make a lot of stuff and it's easy. It's easy.
Very unique. Okay, so what's your plans for after high school? You talked about not playing football and continuing that route. So what do you see yourself doing in the future?
Track's my thing. I'm probably gonna go. I don't know where I'm gonna go yet for track, but yeah, I'm gonna go to track and then probably major in like biology.
Okay, and what is my son was a biology major and teaches at MacArthur now. So, what would you say? What event are you in track?
I do shot put and discus.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So using that strength and all the rest of that stuff. Okay. Well, good luck to the rest of the way. Got a partner next to you. Give us your name, grade, and what position you're in.
My name is Douglas Anderson. I'm a 12th grader, and I play DN and fullback.
Okay. So what's the senior season been like for you?
It's been amazing, honestly. I can't lie. We practice every day. We play hard. We always look forward to it, give it our all, and then games are just electrifying.
Well, how was it Friday? What was your take on that? You know, you had Cameron to compare to all of those years, and now you got it wasn't an away game. It was home, and it was at the place where you practice. What was it like to play there for the first time?
It was actually very amazing to see, just running out of the tunnel and coming onto our home field.
Yeah,
it was just like something new. So I'm personally not from Lawton. I just moved here a year ago.
Okay.
But from last season to this season and playing on our home field, I can tell that in the future is going to be a really good thing.
Well, since you're relatively new, I won't throw the question at you about the Duncan Demons because that's an old rivalry and I know districts have changed and Altus is no longer with us. Ardmore moved down to 4A, so a lot of those clashes that you had have been disappeared, but not the MacArthur-Duncan game. And I don't know if you've been given a little school history on it, but it does mean a lot for both communities with this week. And how are you guys preparing for that game?
Duncan has a very talented player. His name is Sawyer Rice. He's their quarterback, so we practice every day, really just practicing for him.
Was Coach Pushki the one that was modeling the quarterback? So he was kind of dancing around.
That was Coach Spears.
Okay.
Yeah.
you retired from that.
I retired.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Okay. Thank you. Coach Pushki, let's just break down, that's the big thing. I mean, the quarterback, so goes the team. You know what's in front of you, but what else do we need to know about this Duncan Demon team?
Defensively, really, really solid. Coached really well. I've always had major respect for Coach Terry over there. When he was at Altus as their defensive coordinator, playing against them, that's one thing you can always say about his defense is they're going to be coached well and they're going to be super disciplined. And so I think it's going to be really important for us offensively to stay on the field, to get drives, put up points, obviously. But looking at our defensive side, Sawyer is a really good player and explosive, and he can change a game.
Didn't he have like three touchdowns last week?
And and played really well against Newcastle and kept them in that game.
Right.
And so it's going to be a big challenge for our defense, but I think they're up to it.
And you as a coach and a player had to go play at Halliburton Stadium, and they pack it out. I mean, they're a community with just one school, as ours is split, so everybody from Duncan is going to be there. How do you prepare the team to get ready for that kind of environment?
No, I think, our team is very senior-led, and so I think they've been in situations like that. They've been in city rivalries or big district games, and so right now I think our team is really prepared for that.
And then lastly, improvement-wise going forward, kind of in the middle of this district, how would you still – you got a lot of weapons, and you got, your resources are very high, when you got a plethora of, who has a stable of 3 running backs that you can choose, and that's a pretty good position to be in. So you have that, and then you have the outside threats of receivers. But how would you still like to improve offensively as being the offensive coordinator?
Yeah, no, it's like you said, this year is really, really special because we do have just so many weapons that, we can choose from. But, we're always looking to improve offensively. Like I said, last week we had a fumble. We don't want turnovers. And we really, we harp on that. And so we concentrate on that. We did drills yesterday for it. So just doing the little small details, because like Coach Ernie Manning used to say, there's no such thing as a small detail. Everything's a big detail.
Big detail. Okay, yeah. I like that. I'll have to use that later on. Okay. MacArthur Highlanders on the road to the Duncan Demons on Friday, 6:30 for the pregame, and then 7 o'clock for the kickoff. You can catch that here. We'll take a timeout at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. Come join us. How was that pretzel, by the way?
Oh, it was really good. Yeah. My wife's going to be super jealous. Her number one thing, if they have a pretzel, she's getting it. So I'm going to have to go home and tell her, hey.
Well, you can
listen,
take one.
Or I
can
take one home if I was nice.
Yeah, if you were nice. Okay.
Earn some brownie points.
But here's the other thing. Have you seen a pretzel bigger?
I haven't. I mean, it took up the whole pan.
I know, and I keep saying that. I said, someone challenged me on that to find a pretzel that's bigger than this one.
I've got two guys, big guys, high school, and we didn't finish it.
Wow. I had to give mine away last week, and luckily there was a plethora of some teammates that just kind of took sections and it was gone. So, yeah, it's a pretty good pretzel. So if you want some of the sides, you want some of the barbecue, Southwest Oklahoma Brewery on 2nd Street. We'll be back. We've got Cash and we've got Walters still to talk to at the Coaches Show continues on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Arvest Bank, we believe home ownership makes families and communities stronger. Whether it's your first home, a fixer-upper, or your forever home, we're here to help put home ownership within reach. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank, we believe.
Celebrating 10 years. We are the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Southwest Oklahoma Brewery is where we are located for our Coaches Show, and we want you to come join us each and every Tuesday. And, we talk to our area teams, and we talk about their opponents and the games and the success that they've had. So Tanner Thompson from the Cash Bulldogs, and I was talking to you briefly before during break. I said, you got to feel good, not only to get that first one in the season, but where you took it, which was a long bus ride. I said, you're always worried about, get a loss and then a long bus ride to think about it, but you put these things together. You talk about, changing those, making it a 4-quarter game, and you were in so many halftime games. If you would have just played a half, you would have had an undefeated record, perhaps, So that's just not the way it goes. We understand it's 4 quarters, but kind of break down what you liked about that game and what you were most pleased with.
Yeah, we started really fast against Woodward. And the biggest thing, we talked about is we put a full game together, and we played really well on offense, defense, and special teams. And like you said, we put a second half together, and essentially, I felt like we dominated the game for the most part.
Yeah, that's always good. And, it's like then, it's the next game up. You celebrate for just a small little time, and we can kind of bask in that way because congratulations. It's hard to win in these games, and to get it on the road and like you did, it's pretty good. And you think you're finding out who this team is for this year about this juncture of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. Going into Woodward, we wanted to – especially offensively, go in kind of and be aggressive with the way we called the game and the way we played and kind of attacking and getting it to our athletes in space. And Coach Abbott did a fantastic job going into the game and having a good game plan on doing that. I think we had, about 330 yards total offense, and that was about split down the middle and run and pass. So
that's great.
He did a phenomenal job, and he got it to – run the football and get into our athletes through the air. That's one thing we really wanted to focus on going into this week. And then defensively, we stopped the run, which was the biggest thing we wanted to go in and do, and then we turned the ball over more. So, we had 2 more turnovers, and these past 2 games, I think we created about 7 turnovers, and that's been big for us.
That's huge. The takeaway and then being able to get those is monumental at every level, whether it be collegiate or even in the NFL. I'll hold off by talking about your next opponent. We're Weatherford, so we'll get to a couple of our players right now. So first one, grab the mic, give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
My name's Evan Buer. I'm a senior. I play receiver and corner.
How has this senior season been for you?
It's been pretty good watching the team work together and win that last game we had.
Yeah. How thrilling was it? And it was a much better bus ride, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
How would you like to kind of school the underclassmen that are under you, that are looking to what they need to do? What was the biggest thing you want to get across to them?
Keep your head up and work hard. Don't give up.
Okay. What is your favorite food?
Favorite food?
Yes.
I would have to say Korean beef.
Okay. All right. Where do you get the best Korean beef?
I'd say my grandma's house.
Okay, that's good. That's always like the home stuff. What's your favorite hobbies? What do you like to do when you're not playing football?
I like to game and spend time with my family.
What game do you play?
I play Rocket League and Siege.
Okay, and who's the best on the team?
I don't play for a team, or I play at home. I don't play with the
Yeah,
school.
no, okay, no, I understand that, but I'm saying who's the best at it in that? Do you have other players that play?
I would say my cousin.
Oh, okay, really? You were the first one to not say themselves, because every time I get a video game question, it's like you rule and everybody else can take you on. Okay, yeah. And what's your favorite subject in school?
I would say anatomy.
Anatomy, okay. And what would you see yourself doing with that?
I'm going to school to become an athletic trainer.
Okay, all right. Well, that kind of works out with that. Okay. And we got one more player. Give us your name and your grade and what position you play.
My name is CJ Robowski. I'm a senior, and I play receiver and corner.
Okay. And talk a little bit about this season. What did you want to come into this year to get better at? What did you want to hone your craft at getting better at what you do?
Well, I wanted to get better at corner, keep my head up, keep pushing. The past years, I pushed all the way, but this year I'm all in.
What does it mean for you to be a Bulldog?
For me to be a Bulldog, it means being something bigger than myself, helping the community out, my team, my friends, my family.
Very good. Coach, let's get back to you. This is Weatherford. This is kind of a storied program, and I'm kind of trying to understand how this 4A, make up this year, and each year is different, and you had what Elgin was able to do last year, and they came out from the depths of 4A, 5A, back to 4A, okay, and then that's Elgin. But then you also had Clinton and Weatherford, and they were kind of beating each other, and there was no, it's kind of like, okay, where do they fit in this? So why don't you kind of explain what this year's Weatherford team is, what you broke down with X's and O's to get ready for this matchup on Friday?
Right. I think in the past, Weatherford has always had an extremely dominant player, whether it was Ethan Downs or
right.
The last couple of years it's been C.J. Nixon, and they don't necessarily have that this year, but they're really solid everywhere. And so, they don't have that D1 player that they had in the past, but at every position they're really good. They're always really good. They're really well coached on offense and defensively, and they're just solid everywhere. Have a really good mobile quarterback, that's something we're going to have to focus on and contain him. That's been something that's hurt us in this past year. So containing him going forward on defense, stopping the run on defense, limiting the explosive plays. Offensively, they run a 3-3 stack, and they're really aggressive with their play and blitzing and doing different things. But we're going to have to establish the run and be able to get our passing game going.
Okay, and what would you say your ultimate keys to the game is? You mentioned about stopping, these certain things, but what it really boils down to for a cash win?
Yeah, it's just going to come down to playing 4 quarters. Every year we play Weatherford, it's a tough game, and it's always going to be tight in the second half. And so for us, it's going to be, number one, coming out confident. I tell our guys every week, I said, I believe we're the best team on the field every time we step on the field.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't matter whether I believe that. Do you believe that? And so going in there and practice, make sure we have that undeniable belief all week, and then our preparation with how we practice all week, and then stepping on the field and believing that, and just starting fast on both sides of the ball, playing with the extreme intensity and relentless effort, and then, like we said, finishing the game. You know, they're going to have good plays. We're going to have good plays. Things are going to go bad for them. Things are going to go bad for us. But who's going to weather that storm? And, you know, in the second half, when we need to, we're going to step up and make those plays. And, you know, I've challenged our kids to do that, and I think in practice and all week they've shown that, you know, they're excited to meet that challenge.
And how special it is to have this game, like such a game like this, to be at home with a great atmosphere and a great crowd that's behind you.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the way this year's set up. I mean, you know, we dropped one to Elk City, but we got them at home. We get Weatherford at home. We get Clinton at home. So those are some big-time games that we're going to have to win if we want to accomplish things we want to accomplish this year. And so that's huge.
Okay. Well, good luck to you on Friday. Of course, Weatherford comes to town, and you want to pack the stadium, Ulrich Stadium, for Friday night because they would appreciate all the help and the support they can get. All right, we'll continue at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. We got Cash. We already had MacArthur, and we had Lawton High. It's the Walters Blue Devils. They're up next, and we'll be back right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Lawton's premier full-service garden center is Bedrock Nursery at 1802 Northwest 67th Street. Serving all of Southwest Oklahoma since 1994, they are your source for homegrown bedding plants and offer a wide range of services, including landscape design and installation. They are your full-service garden center. Bedrock Nursery, 1802 Northwest 67th Street in Lawton. Bedrock Nursery. Come see the difference.
All right, one more time, Southwest Oklahoma Brewery here on 2nd Street, where we've talked to a lot of our Lawton area schools. We had Lawton High, and we had MacArthur. We also had Cash, and now it's the Walters Blue Devils. And Blue Devils, to tell you, you got a lot of fight in this team, and there's a lot, points. There are teams that you can say fold up the tent, so to speak, when things go bad. And I know you got a young crew, but I went back and watched some highlights of the game, and you were still scoring late in the game. It just shows a lot of character of these kids, of just to continue the fight as you brought that fight to them.
Yeah, again, I've told them over and over. I've been proud of them. It takes a lot of courage to be beat and then come back to work on Monday and continue to work to get better. And that's the thing that I continue to see is this group just gets better each week. Obviously we're not where we want to be, but the end goal is to be our very best at the end of the season. And so I see us heading in that direction. We played a lot of tough opponents so far, and like I said, I couldn't be more pleased with these kids. And again, like I said, we're starting to sustain more drives on offense, and I just see a lot of the little parts of the game that we're getting so much better at. We just need to put it all together.
Well, I'm going to use what coaches usually say about themselves on a Saturday morning is you're never as good as you are, and you never were as bad as what you thought, because it's the emotions of the game. You got to get away from that, and then you break down film, and then you grade these kids out. You see where they've progressed. And so what did you come away with this last week's matchup?
Well, one of the things, like I said, I felt a lot better about us at times offensively. Like I said, the opening drive, we had them, drove right down the field and scored. Like I said, I felt like throughout the game I could point out things that we were doing really good. They're really picking up on our RPO package really well, and we're executing it really well, and that's why we're starting to run it more and more. And like I said, every Saturday morning, I have to apologize to certain kids because I chew them out during the game. And then
so you didn't do as bad as I thought you did.
Yeah, well, one of our linemen in particular, I was really frustrated with him after the game, and then after I watched film, I was like, "Oh, that wasn't your fault. Oh, that wasn't your fault." So you kind of get away from the emotions and you break down the field.
Right.
And you're right, it's not always as bad as it seemed. again, like I said, unfortunately, the school board tells the story that everybody likes
everybody
to see.
Sees, yeah.
You know, like I said, I would love for them to come out there and watch these kids work hard throughout the week and the time that they put in and the bond that they have. You know, like I said, we're 0-5, but I look forward to going and coaching these guys every week. They're a good group. They're fun to be around, and I love them to death.
Well, and the support that you get, too. And I know that they can't see on camera. We got 2 young men that are with us, but there are 8 behind the camera that came. And it's Walters. It's a 30-minute drive, all loaded up. One guy's on crutches. You know, I mean, it speaks volume for this team that you are a team, you are a family, and you are so supportive.
Absolutely, you know, and that's one of the things that drew me back to the community. The whole community's that way. It's one big family, and like I said, when you're coaching a group of guys like this that love one another and go out there and have the courage to battle each week for one another, it's fun to coach groups like that. And I you know, like I said, school board aside, I enjoy coaching this group. Love them to death. All
right, well, we'll hold off to Okema and talk a little bit about what you have to do with that weight. We'll get a couple of our players. So grab the mic, give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
My name is Hunter Bishop, and I play free safety and H-back.
Okay, and you just got done with that massive pretzel, and I was telling you don't choke on it because it, and I've already asked Coach Pushki from MacArthur, have you seen a bigger pretzel anywhere?
No, sir.
No, either have I. And that was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Had a little dipping sauce with it. Did you guys share, or did you have that whole thing to yourself?
No, we shared.
Okay, all right. You had a section of it. Okay. What did you want to accomplish to come into this season? What did you want to get better at, and how would you still like to improve going forward?
I just want us to grow as a family, and I know we're going to lose and have
it's okay.
I know we're going to lose and not win every game, but I want us to grow and get better as a team.
Okay, I got to get what you said. So it's not like you're expecting to lose. It's like it's win or lose, and you know you expect one of those things, and then your growth with it. What about this week? What kind of Coach says week after week? You know, he already said you're 0-5. That's what the record is. The town people are for you, but it's back to work on Monday. So how are you preparing for this week?
Today in practice, we really got at it. Had a good practice today, and I feel like we were a lot more physical than we usually are. And I feel like this week we have a good shot at beating Okema.
Okay. What is your favorite food?
Probably spaghetti.
Okay. Where's the best spaghetti? Where do you get the best spaghetti at?
Probably my kitchen.
Oh yeah, you're gonna cook it then. Okay.
Oh, probably my stepmom. She cooks
good
spaghetti.
All right,
yeah.
so she does the big spaghetti. All right.
Yeah.
What is your favorite subject in school?
Probably English. I really like English.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you like English so much?
It's just not too hard.
Okay. Well, you could have said lunch. That's always a. No,
I like lunch too.
You like lunch?
Yeah.
That's me. If it was grade school, it was recess and lunch. It was a tag team. All right, give us Mike next to the guy next to you, and give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
My name's Kelton Sutherland. I'm a receiver and a wide or a corner.
Boy, you got some height there. How tall are you?
About 6'3".
6'3". That's a height advantage that you don't probably have many guys throwing over the top to your guy, right?
Yes, sir.
I bet not. Yeah. Have you an interception this year?
Not yet.
But you're waiting for it.
I'm hoping.
You just kind of bait him into throwing your way, and then you come and snag it up out of there?
Exactly.
Do you also play basketball?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, I figured. I mean, with a height, basketball coach would be
yes, sir.
He's not doing his job if he doesn't recruit you on the court.
Well, I recruited him off the basketball court.
Okay. That's good. That's good. So is this your first year playing football?
No. I didn't play my sophomore year, but I played my freshman year.
Okay, so you're kind of getting back into it. How would you like to get better at the positions that you play?
Really just focusing in practice and listen to what my coaches say and be prepared what they throw at me.
What does it mean that these 8 guys are here? I mean, you're on the show and they're here for support. What does it mean for you that you guys get that kind of support from your teammates?
It feels really good because I know they're a family and they support each and every one of us. So it's good that they show up and be a part of what we do.
Well, especially the times, like last year was a really, really good year, and winning takes care of a lot. Everybody loves it, and then when the chips are down, you kind of really see what the true character is. But you still got the backings of all of your teammates and the community as well. I mean, they're not going anywhere. It's going to be Blue Devils until the end,
Yes,
So what are you guys getting ready for the Okima matchup? How excited are you get that game?
Oh, I'm very excited. It's a very winnable game. We're just
getting ready, getting prepared the best you can for this match.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. Coach, break down the X's and O's and your keys to the game for a win this week.
Well, Okima throws the ball a majority of the time, so we're going to have to be.
Hopefully they'll throw his way.
Yeah, and that's one of the things they haven't thrown his way much. They've
Yeah,
always
I bet
thrown
not.
the opposite side. But
Yeah.
we're going to have to be disciplined in our pass coverage, and we're gonna try to get after them quite a bit in the pass rush. They do some RPO stuff. That we're going to have to shut down, and like I said, just be disciplined to our assignments on defense. Offensively, they really their system, they run a 3-3, but they just kind of send people everywhere. Sometimes I don't feel like they're sound, so we're doing some things to try to take advantage of that, and we feel really good about our game plan.
I would say a tight end always helps go up against that 3-3 stack.
Yeah.
I know the NFL uses it quite a bit, and colleges start, but high school has kind of drifted away from really using the tight end as much.
Well, we use tight end. Of course, one of ours is out with a concussion, but we do a lot of 2 tight end sets when we have them. So, and that really hurts the odd stack. So,
yeah,
like I said, we're going to do some unbalanced stuff, and we're going to do a lot of different things to try to get them out of position and give us an advantage.
And then, you talk about, these matchups in this week's, the coming forward, in district play and stuff like that. When you break down these opponents, what surprises you most with this is now the third coach, I think, in the last couple of weeks that teams are using the 3-3 stack. And, I thought maybe about 10 years ago it seemed to be popular, and you know how things go. Everything kind of comes, and now what makes defenses are gravitating back to the 3-3 stack, you think?
Well, I've always been an odd stack guy. I ran it when I was at Walters before, and I started, last year we were in the odd stack, and we started this season, but our personnel and injuries dictated that we needed to change it. And a lot of it has to do with personnel, but a lot of the reason why a lot of people are going to it in today's time is because of the spread offense. You're able to get more linebackers and more athletes on the field, to contain the offensive athletes because they're spreading people out, throwing the ball around, and a lot of open space, and, it's not conducive for a lot of linemen. So that's one of the reasons, and, one of the reasons I like it is because at any time you've got one of 5 linebackers that you've got to account for blitzing. I mean, you've got to account all of them. So it's I've always liked it because it allows you to be very multiple, but that's why a lot of people go to it. Like I said, I think the spread offense is the biggest reason why most people are going to it.
Yeah, I see more and more of it, at all the levels of that 3-3 stack, and before it was like only 1 or 2 would kind of run it when you saw it, and they had that base defense, so stuff like that. Okay, Okima is the opponent this week, and so 6:30 for our pregame, 7 o'clock for a kickoff.
It's our homecoming also.
Homecoming, all right, I love that. So I love it from a fan standpoint, but some coaches don't like it because of the distraction. So what side of the fence are you on with homecoming?
I used to, when I was younger, I was on that side where it's a distraction. I hated it. But, as the older I've gotten, and I realize how precious memories are, and I want the kids to enjoy it. Yeah, we've got a job to focus on, and I don't want to take away from that. But at the same time, like I tell them, in the right way, enjoy this. It doesn't come back. It's only one time in your life. So,
true.
Those are the things that, as I get older, I guess, like my daughters are saying, I'm getting awful soft. But,
Well, and you have a granddaughter, too, and that helps.
That's exactly right. So, like I said, we want to take care of business, and obviously the game's the most important focus. But at the same time, it's important for me that these guys make memories that, 20 years from now they can look back on and say, hey, I really enjoyed that. And so, I'm not so much against it as I used to be.
Well, and I know you talk a little bit on your soft side and your granddaughter, and I know your family complex, and I know a little bit closer. And Is she still calling you Coachy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll probably
Okay.
be coaching until the day I die.
Okay, all right. So, Coachy, it's it. All
Yeah,
right.
so.
So the Walters Blue Devils homecoming against Okima. You can catch that on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We'll come back, close out Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. We'll be back right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Well, where sports is our middle name, we are the Oklahoma Sports Network, Southwest Oklahoma Brewery here at 104 South West 2nd Street. We're downtown. There's lots to do here. You know, you've got the Oktoberfest coming up. You've got Halloween events coming up. You've got great barbecue. We've been talking about the pretzel, and if that doesn't get you down here enough, I mean, just for side food. And they've got great wings, too, by the way. They have got a lot of stuff in-house, especially with the barbecue, and we talked about the brewer that they make with the winter stuff coming up. And then the backyard, it's an oasis back there, you know, whether you have the Connect 4, whether you have the sofas and you're lounging out in the grass area or the area that is protected from the roof. You got a lot of options, so we want you to try it. If you've never been here, I highly recommend it. Southwest Oklahoma Brewery on 2nd Street. We got 2 games now on Thursday. We've got a lot going on this week, so pay attention on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We had the Altus versus Elgin senior volleyball that's going on right now on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Wednesday, we'll have a coaches show with Altus. Thursday, we'll have the Newcastle coaches show and 2 high school football games. The Eisenhower Eagles, they will be hosting Putnam City at Cameron Stadium. That's on Thursday. And then Jones, I was just notified, that was a Friday game, has moved to Thursday. So we'll have 2 high school football games on Thursday. Everybody else will play Friday. Pre-games are normally at 6:30 and then 7 o'clock for the kickoff. Hey, don't forget, download our free app on Apple and Android devices. It's free to download. It's free to watch. Connect to all of us on social media, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, or X, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And Facebook, that's the best way to connect to us in all of our events. So we'll close out Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, another great edition for the Coaches Show. I want to thank all of our 4 schools in attendance today with MacArthur and Lawton High, plus Cash and Altus. You've been watching a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.